A very good morning. Much thanks for joining us, and we appreciate you for taking your time to spend it with us right here on The Morning Drift. I am Nelima, and we've got you covered on all the day's trending stories from the dailies, what is happening, and of course the calendar of events of what you can expect from today.
Nelima, thank you very much for being a part and parcel of our program this morning. This is The Morning Drifts. My name is Simba Kiage, and you can join us online right now at Lookuptv across all your social media platforms. I am Kiage Simba Nelima. Why you?
I'm at Nelima Nancy, and the hashtag is The Morning Drift.
Just a lot of issues, Nelima, that are happening today in as far as Kenya is concerned. We do know that the vetting committee that was vetting the CS nominees to take up Ruto's government already did table their findings. Now what's going on today is debating on that report. Again, we do know that one big name is missed out of the 24 that were vetted, Nelima. We do have one by the name, and if we just hold on to that, Penina Malonza looks as if she's not made it through to the final list of the 24 nominees that President Ruto wanted to take up his government. A lot of conversations around that, Nelima.
Right, Simba. That is all everyone is talking about, actually.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And Penina Malonza has been trending since yesterday. And of course, we'll shortly be getting into it. But before that, Simba, today is an international day for many things.
Yes.
And I'm hoping maybe you'd get one of them. So it is World Pasta Day.
Pasta?
Yeah.
Pasta.
How do you like pasta?
The pasta?
Yeah. How do you like pasta?
It's World Pasta Day.
It's World Pasta Day. I don't know what your best dish is.
It's Nelima, I will tell you what my best dish is. I don't think you're gonna like me. Yeah.
Pasta, it's pasta the food.
Yes.
Not pasta the
preacher.
Yes, not the preacher. Pasta the food.
Yes, my favorite dish, and probably we should start this particular day. It's ugali skuma.
Ah, very original. You are so authentic, Simba.
But not any other type of skuma. Not this one that we take here in Nairobi. It's gotta be the Western Kenya skuma, cooked fresh with onions and just tomato. That's it. Nothing more, with avocado on the side. Best dish in the whole world.
Good to know.
Maybe we should have World Skuma Day.
Okay.
All right, so it's World Pasta Day.
World Pasta Day. As well, it is International Artist Day.
Artist.
Yeah. So ranging from, could be a singer, could be the people who draw.
All right.
It's just a day to appreciate the people who are in the arts. So World Artist Day as well. And of course, International Doll Day.
Wait,
I don't know if you can relate well with this.
Day?
Yes.
What is that, Nelima?
maybe it's not very familiar with our society, but elsewhere.
Elsewhere?
Yeah.
But wait, hold on. Doll Day.
Doll.
What? Yeah, doll.
Like a doll.
Doll?
Yes.
That's it, people celebrate dolls.
Yes.
Since we're talking about international days, do you know that World Men's Day coincides with World Toilet Day?
Yeah. So I've heard you guys complain a lot.
Yes, but International Women's Day coincides with nothing. It's just that day set aside for women.
I think that's coincidence, Simba.
Is that? Do you think so?
Yeah.
Oh yeah? I'm just going to leave it there, because I don't understand how you got nothing going on International Women's Day, and then for Men's Day, that's when you're like, okay, can we also celebrate the toilets?
Yeah. And so, Simba, as we take a look at what's happening, what people can expect today, yesterday, President William Ruto, while he was addressing crowds in Kibra, of course, where he launched the housing project right there.
Yes.
And he did say that Kenyans will have to wait a whole year.
By the way.
For the maize prices to go down, for the unga prices to go down.
And I don't know why we're not complaining about it. Nelima, can I ask you a question? Is it we Kenyans don't know how to riot about the cost of living? I've never seen a big crowd in this country about the cost of living. Case in point, his deputy, Rigathi Gachagua, said, were it not for Raila, but that's quote unquote,
right.
Were it not for Raila, who's taken us to court challenging our election, right now, flour prices would have come down to 100 shillings. Now they're asking for 1 year. Why?
Yeah, and the president, Simba, also clarified, and he said that following the subsidy on the fertilizer, so if he puts subsidy on production, then it will consequently then lead to, more produce of the maize, and the prices are going to go down.
I don't know what to feel about it, Nelima. You know, these are the things. But right now it's 230 shillings, isn't it?
Yes.
For a bag of unga?
A 2 kg,
a 2 kg packet,
yeah.
230 shillings. Yeah. By the way, it's a good thing you're talking about that, Nelima. The Kazi kwa Mtaani program as well. Has it not been cancelled again by President Ruto? So we're talking about hustlers looking for money to buy this 230 shillings worth of unga, and then at the same time you're cancelling the Kazi Mtaani program. Those two headlines, how do they sync together?
Right.
He's saying that all these guys who've not been are not going to be employed now in the Kazi Mtaani program would instead be hired to work on the housing projects that is launching. How many are there across the country?
Right, and he is planning for, in the first year, to build at least 500,000 houses across the country.
It's a promise, isn't it?
And so, Simba, some critics argue that possibly it would be just the same as Kazi kwa Vijana, because if you're going to employ the youth, young people to work on 500,000 houses across the country, then that is creating employment as well.
Neither here nor there. By the way, I've got people who've been beneficiaries of the Kazi Mtaani program, where you're called out and then you're told to go in and clean the streets, collect trash, take it to the recycling centers, and after that you get paid. And it was good money, by the way, because if you did realize, Nelima, you could even get up to 12,000 shillings a month if you're continuously on that program. Now, this promise of this affordable housing unit that is saying that it's going to build 500,000, the absorption rate of this youth have got nothing to do. And by the way, we need essential services like that one of cleaning the streets or collecting rubbish or just making sure that things are in order within the states or within where we live. It is a continuous program, but this 500,000, wait, Uhuru Kenyatta did promise 500,000, we've not seen them.
Well, I think it's too early to call, Simba. but I guess our viewers, you can let us know what you think about it. Of course, at Lookuptv on Twitter, Facebook, and our YouTube channel as well. And of course, the hashtag is Morning Drift. What are your thoughts on President William Ruto's sentiments that Kenyans will have to wait for 1 more year for the unga prices to come down?
Anyway, for us, it's just to look and ask these questions. And we're going to ask these questions every little chance that we get. For now, let's take a tiny breather. Once we come back, then we shall be telling you exactly what you are expecting on your dailies today on October 26th, 2022, as you move on with your day. Once we come back.
And welcome back. This is The Morning Drift. Nelima here and...
Simba Kiage, thank you very much.
Time now for us to take a look at what's happening, of course, on our local dailies. And I have the Standard with me.
Yes.
And MPs warning short to Ruto's cabinet. And Simba, as you well know, yesterday there was a report by the committee that was vetting the cabinet secretary nominees in Parliament for the last 1 week. And of course, we saw the report by Kimani Ichung'wah, who is the leader of majority in the National Assembly. And his report, in the report, there was a unanimous decision to reject Penina Malonza, who was a cabinet nominee for tourism. And as well, there was another report by the minority, and they did put doubts on Aisha Jumwa and Mithika
Linturi as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So of course that is a story that is making headlines on the front page of the Standard, and a detailed story which is coming to you on pages 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. That is a lot of coverage, and of course this is a story that we are following up for you. It is taking center stage, and of course very important just to see what the Parliament is going to debate on, given the findings, given the report by the committee for the vetting. As well, on the front cover of the Standard, there are questions surrounding the Pakistani journalist who is Arshad Mohammed. And of course, the investigations are still ongoing. Remember, Arshad was killed on Sunday night in Magadi, Kajiado County. And of course, questions surrounding his death as to was it planned, was it premeditated, or was it an accident, as police have claimed? Simba, I don't know if it's the same thing happening on your end.
It's actually the same thing. When I'm looking at what the headlines are, it is haggling that led to the rejection of Malonza by members of parliament. That's the headline that decided to give it. And they're saying that intense deliberations that went up to midnight Monday in the committee vetting President William Ruto's cabinet secretary nominees led to the dropping of one nominee after the two sides could not agree on the fate of the three. And we do know who that is. It is Linturi, Aisha Jumwa, and Malonza. So we do expect that the two more in that list are also going to elicit a very tough debate today. And we do expect then that the House is going to look at that report and start debating on it, so we see exactly what then would be the outcome of that debate. Also on the side of that, now, Nelima, there's a man here who owns the runway for an airport. Mombasa, that is. Now, the saying EACC goes for former Moi aid in a 2.5 billion shillings case. And then the kicker to that is a man who owns part of Mombasa airport runway. And in fact, there's a former PA to former president, Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, who owns part of Mombasa airport runway. In fact, he's claiming that where those planes are landing and taking off, that is his property. Now, EACC is going for him, and if you want to read that story, then you would go all the way to pages 10 of the Daily Nation and get to catch this interesting story of a man. His name is Kulei, who's a former PA to former President Daniel Moi, who's saying Mombasa Airport is mine. In fact, part of that airport is mine. So the government should look for a place to relocate. That's exactly what it is. And then on the sidelines of that, the Daily Nation is also giving you details of how Ruto has officially ended Uhuru's Kazi Mutani project.
Right.
So for all the hustlers, you gotta look for somewhere else. That's it. Maybe in the housing project that Ruto is coming up with. Yeah, that's it. That's what they are headlining in the front page. Anything of note as well? On the Standard.
It's still the same Simba on page 10 of the Standard.
Yeah.
And that is President William Ruto right there asking for 1 more year to lower the cost of living. And of course, he was at Kibra yesterday where he was launching the housing project.
Yeah.
But Simba, of course, what comes clear, or the trending topic for today is the vetting, the committee.
Yeah.
And the report that the committee has now submitted to Parliament, and the Parliament is going to deliberate on. It started yesterday, and today the process will still be ongoing. And of course, one person in question is Penina Malonza, who was unanimously rejected. And Simba, when you look at the reasons that were cited, that there was lack of grip of pertinent issues concerning tourism. I don't know if you got a chance to just take a look at the proceedings in Parliament on that day. Yes,
I did look at that, by the way. And she was asked a particular question from, was it one Jeanette? Yes. And she didn't know where particular game reserves and parks were in this country. And then somebody said, if you don't know where that is, why are you really running for this job? And it was interesting to watch. Said something to Linturi as well, but Linturi also came out to be more of a political CS than what a CS job really demands. I mean, if you could hear the vetting process, just went on and on and on about who has been politically in the country, was less of exactly what he wants to do for that particular ministry, the Ministry of Agriculture, and questions surrounding Aisha Juma, by the way, and you did see that she's been granted bail as well. But there's a development in her case as well. So maybe integrity issues around Juma as well. But for this one, Malonza specifically, now probably that's when you look at the vetting process and and say they got objective then. Because if you ask a question about a particular ministry, you're vying for a job and you don't know about it, then why should you be given that job?
And Simba, one of the things that is also coming out from the report that has been given by the vetting committee is a question of women representation. There have been critics arguing that shooting Malonza down, then that means that women are not going to be as included as they should be in the Kenya Kwanza government. As well, it is a fight against a Kenyan who has no issues with Chapter 6 of the Constitution, which is based on integrity. And so there's an issue about fight against women. What are your thoughts on that, Simba?
Here's the thing, get another woman then, because the president did promise is going to give us, what, 50%?
Right.
By the way, if you do your math, it might not get to 50% because he said, and it was very specific, you can quote him, by the way, he said, in my government, and those are in those cabinet secretary positions, I'm going to want 50% of those to women, isn't it? It's not like there aren't other women who are more qualified to come in and take the job. They are there. So yes, if you really want to retain that number, if the committee feels that she's not best fit for that particular position, I mean, we do have a CS running that particular ministry now, that is Najib Balala. Let him continue until then you get a different woman who can come in and replace Malonza if you feel like she's not really good for that job. But it's not just about integrity, no. It's not just about integrity.
There's a whole lot more that is required,
you gotta be best of fit, isn't it? There's just a whole lot that we gotta look at. That's it.
But Simba, again, would we just say that it is not inclusive of women when a candidate is being vetted? Is it about their gender, or is it about what they have to offer, what they're bringing to the table?
It is what they're bringing to the table. It should be what they're bringing to the table. That's why I liked some of those questions, what you plan to do in this particular ministries. Then I think from there, but like I will quote some of them on that panel, the CS nominee Transport Murkomen saying that he wants to see an airstrip in each of the 47 counties in Kenya. We do know that some of them do have airstrips, but then we start from there then. After 5 years, after 3 years, we'll be coming back to that one and saying, you promised you're going to do this, where are these things? It's exactly what you want to bring to the table. How vast are you with the challenges and the state of the ministries that you're going into? And I think that's where Malonza failed on that particular one, because she was not very sure of some positions of game parks and reserves in this country. It's not like you gotta know everything, but the committee felt this is basic information. If you really want that job, you would have gone into it and answered these questions. I liked the questions from CS Treasury, Njuguna. Don't know if you did listen to him. He was spot on, talking about numbers and how debt and then taxes should be applied. That's what they expected maybe from Malonza as well, and she didn't give it to them.
And Simba, there's also one more thing that some people in her defense then say that she could have been camera shy and perhaps not well expressed herself. But given the position, given the docket, given the responsibility, and it's a representation of people, would you say that someone who has stage fright would fit the bill?
No. As a cabinet secretary, stage fright should not be a thing for you because you're representing this country in negotiations. We need to see your face outside there. You need to put this country outside there. So when you come in and say, well, stage fright or state of mind, then you're not fit for that job. A CS should, actually, to make it worse, CS tourism. Your voice, your image, you represent, you sell. That's what you're supposed to do. You sell this country. So if you're saying you got stage fright, I wonder what's going to happen when you're put on the spot then to sell Masai Mara or any other place in Kajiado where you want people to come in. Now, I don't think so.
Right.
I don't think so. And she's got big shoes to fill in when you look at what Najib Balala has been doing in terms of selling this country. I would say one of the best performing, if you go by what the tourism and hospitality sector in the country looks like currently.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, just looking at her also from the minority side, casting doubts on Aisha Jumwa and Mithika Linturi as well. For Mithika Linturi, as the committee says, he has at least 35 cases in court.
That's it.
And of course, for Aisha Jumwa, then much as the graft case was withdrawn, then there's still
another case as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we're going to see what happens. Like I told you, Nelima, I mean, yes, you helped me campaign, fine, and you feel like you're entitled to a position in my government, fine, I'll give it to you. And we let the democratic process then take place, isn't it? And probably that is the card that the big man, President Ruto, is playing, because what are you going to do? You wanted it, they've said you're not good for it. I'm so sorry I tried.
But you gotta fight for it.
That's it. Anyway, we take a tiny breather right here on the Morning Drift again. Once we come back, let's see what you're talking about online as regards some of these conversations that we're having here today with Nelima.
Welcome back. Watching the Morning Drift, and time now for us to take a look at what's trending across the social media and on Twitter. One of the trending hashtags is Penina Malonza. No wonder, Simba. And of course, Penina Malonza was the cabinet nominee for tourism, and she underwent the vetting last week. And following the report that has come from the vetting committee is that she has been unanimously rejected. And I'll just sample a tweet right there by Mutahi Ngunyi. And it says, the president's nominee cannot be rejected if you control parliament. The rejection of Penina Malonza was by design. The president had second thoughts or had designed it to fail. This way, you cannot blame him. Paves way for Najib Balala, who has more political value in the coast.
You see, that particular tweet right there, Nelima, yes, maybe by design, and I'm saying by design in quotes, isn't it? Guys, look, they failed you. I'm so sorry, I can't vouch for you anymore, and I need these things to run, so let me look elsewhere. Maybe you gotta look at it like that. I mean, within the lines, and that tweet right there is quite correct. In rare occasions, do you see a president's nominee then fail, but then when they fail, you ask me that my personal opinions, these opinions are not in any way representing the views of Look-Up Television, Simba Kiage's opinions, by design.
Right. And of course, Simba, that reminds me of Kandie in 2013, when she was being vetted. And of course, the committee at the time had cast some doubts, but she was appointed anyway. So we'll just be looking to see how this is going to pan out.
And yeah, by the way, just going to ask that question, Nelima, probably in one of our interviews here at Lookuptv. See, when you've been rejected, like for Kandie's case, isn't it? Like the committee rejects you. This is a unanimous rejection. And then you as the president, you go right ahead and appoint this particular person. What next? Can you challenge that appointment in court?
No, as the Constitution says, the president has the final say. Once it's debated in Parliament, they'll only give recommendations, and then the president will proceed.
Interesting, isn't it?
Right.
I mean, when you look
and
at
also
it like
just
that.
taking another tweet right here, Rogers Kipembe Mpuru says, DP Rigathi Gachagua had an issue about having two Kambas in the cabinet, yet the region voted for their competitors. Today, National Assembly Committee on Appointments unanimously rejected the nomination of Penina Malonza as CS for Tourism, Wildlife and Heritage.
That's how it is. Now Kenyans are reading so much into it, isn't it? It's just got to go back there. Because indeed, when you look at what the Kambani community did, they did unanimously vote for the opponents, isn't it? And they just concluded election. And then Rigathi has not been a man who's been missing his words. It's like, guys, why do we have the two of you? And you did not really fully support us. And probably now the ramifications. Because you gotta know though, there's a lot of vouching, there's a lot of rallying that goes behind even what the vetting committee actually comes up with.
Right.
Yeah, of course you can't sit back and say, well, it's watertight. Whatever decision they make is quite independent. It's not. You and I, Nelima, have the right to go speak to the committee and try and influence the decisions on whatever it is they're going to come up with. It's a parliamentary process. You're allowed to go in and represent your opinions whatever way, even if you're going to buy somebody from that committee. And this is exactly what we're saying now.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, Simba, one other interesting aspect that comes across is that the Azimio MPs are the ones who are now vouching for Penina Malonza, and they're the ones who are bringing about the whole issue of Kenya Kwanza is not in support of women.
Yeah.
So, and many people are here asking, then, is the vetting necessary, or is it just a conveyor belt?
It looks like a conveyor belt right now, isn't it? And you know why they're vouching for Malonza, isn't it? I mean, she comes from a region that the Azimio coalition has historically been enjoying political dominance. So having more of those in government, you know, gets you close to the decision-making table, I'll tell you that. And now that's why they're supporting her like that. It's going to be interesting to see exactly that debate. And I will tell you it's going to be Nelima. And because I see Aisha Jumwa, Najib Balala now trending, and Mithika Linturi. There's going to be a one-on-one comparison where they're saying, if you accepted Mithika Linturi,
right,
and you accept Aisha Jumwa, then there is no way that you can look at us and then say Malonza can go through. Because then, if you look at the issues, the integrity matters that are attached to Linturi right now and Aisha Jumwa, then why did you let that go? Right. Those questions are going to come up now in Parliament. Yes, and I think it's going to be a healthy debate in the sense of the chapter 6. On integrity, then it's going to be put on the spot today. Because then, yes, you did not feel like she was best of fit. But then, what about integrity issues? Are we going to close our eyes and say, well, that doesn't matter now right now, as long as these are the president's nominees? It's going to be a very interesting debate. I would like to see the conversations around the balancing act. If you let Linturi go and Aisha Jumwa, because there were questions from the minority section on why the two will not stand the test of waters, then Malonza is going to go through that. I think we're going to say that.
Right.
Yeah.
And Simba, there's one more interesting tweet here. Yeah. And it's by Ali Nur. And he says he's offering himself up for that position. And of course, you know, many people are just seeing an opportunity. A gap.
Yeah, I mean, that's another chance for you to apply. You and I could try. I mean, why not? I mean, we've been to a couple of places in this country. We know exactly how. Wait, did she say that we probably could have appointed, wow. My mind every morning, I think I'm not a morning person. But anyway, the point I was trying to make is even in terms of trying to come up with tourism ambassadors in this country. Do you think we should have appointed, wow, 50 years a slave. What was her name? Wow, my mind is out this morning, and I do apologize for that. Probably I did not have enough coffee this morning. But anyway, when you look at it, then yes, thank you very much. Lupita Nyong'o, isn't it? Nelima, do you know our ambassador to tourism in this country currently? It is Naomi Campbell. Are you okay with it?
Yeah. I know it came under fire. I know she came under a lot of fire.
Yeah, are you okay with that?
Because she's not Kenyan.
Yeah.
But as
First
well,
and foremost.
But as well, if she can sell Kenya to the rest of the world, maybe it's not such a bad idea.
I like the way you're standing in between. Finally, once you apply for that particular job, I wish you the very best, and I'd like to work in your office, please, when that time comes. Anyway.
Well, I do understand we have to take a very short break. And when we come back, we'll be taking a look at the top stories.
Yippee! Kamata plotting at 349k. Oh yes, for only 349,000 Kenyan shillings, you become a plot owner at the Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki. The Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki is located along the Nanyuki-Rumuruti Road, only 11 minutes from the Cedar Mall and right opposite Mount Kenya Wildlife Estate. This is the best place to establish the getaway home that you have always dreamt about. For every 349,000 that you deposit or pay as installment towards any of Optivent's plot of land, you get 10k cash back instantly. Jaza basi twende Nanyuki. Bigger is indeed better.
The International Handball Federation brings you great sporting action that's full of pomp, color, energy, tackle, and thrill. The IHF Trophy Africa Zone 5 Youth and Junior Men Games. 8 countries, 16 teams, 36 games. All these sporting action to be held at the Ulinzi Sports Complex and at the Nyayo National Stadium Handball Courts in Nairobi, Kenya. Games start at 12 noon till late, as from Tuesday the 25th to Saturday the 29th. Entry is free. Only carry your identification document. This action is proudly brought to you by the International Handball Federation in conjunction with the Kenya Handball Federation in partnership with Lookuptv and Mudingi TV.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry, offering thorough training in cosmetology, hairdressing, interior design, creative arts, training of trainers, nail technology, and fashion design. With branches in Nairobi, Thika, Meru, Eldoret, and now in Mombasa, our courses ensure that learners are completely equipped with knowledge, competency, and employability skills. Enroll today to be a part of a center of excellence.
Good to have you join us on Heart to Heart.
We bring you stories of people who, despite the pressures they experienced, still trusted God to see them through.
The seeds that was sown in me helped me navigate and overcome that period of my life.
New testimonies, new insights, and even better revelation of the good things God has in store for us.
There is always a blessing waiting for someone in every episode.
For all your football, F1, and World Cup kits, Carrington Sportswear Hub is your plug for quality, sporty merchandise. Call us on 0703 484 481.
Welcome back. You are still watching The Morning Drift. My name is Simba Kiage. Let's now cross over to the newsroom so we can see some of the stories that are taking center stage today. Now, Members of the House Committee on Appointment have unanimously rejected the appointment of Tourism Cabinet Secretary nominee Penina Malonza. The vetting report tabled Tuesday also includes a minority report from Azimio members of parliament led by Junet Mohammed recommending the rejection of public service and gender nominee Aisha Jumwa and agricultural counterpart Mithika Linturi. Shadrach Kareria opens our broadcast.
The rejection of Tourism and Wildlife Cabinet nominee Penina Malonza stirred the calm in the National Assembly as legislators from both sides of the political divide step up in our defense.
One, the committee states in their report that Penina Malonza holds a master's degree, is a student currently is a student of master's in the University of Nairobi. She holds a bachelor's degree from the University of Nairobi. She has never been charged before a court of law. She meets the requirements of Chapter 6.
The MPs from Kenya Kwanza and Azimio ganging up against the appointment committee, accusing them of being unfair to Madam Malonza.
And 24 rejects the appointment of the Honorable Penina Malonza, OGW, as a Cabinet Secretary for Tourism, Wildlife and Heritage.
According to the report tabled in the House by the Leader of Majority Kimani Ichung'wah, the panel approved all the rest of the 23 nominees except that of Malonza.
This House, 1, approves the appointment of the Honorable Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi, EGH, as a Cabinet Secretary in the office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary.
Malonza was nominated by President William Ruto as the CS nominee for Ministry of Tourism. She once served as the Deputy Governor of Kitui County from the year 2013 to 2017. She was appointed by the former Kitui Senator David Musili in the run-up for Kitui gubernatorial seat. Malonza also vied for Kitui Women Representative seat.
You do the listening.
Sorry.
When you talk, I do the listening.
Sorry.
I would want you to focus on the questions that have been asked to you. You spent the last almost 20 minutes dancing around 2 questions.
According to the report, Malonza was rejected on the grounds that she did not demonstrate knowledge of topical, administration, and technical issues touching on the Ministry of Tourism and Heritage. The report also noted that she lacks the experience to run the office. The minority side, however, championed for rejection of 3 nominees with integrity issues, including Agriculture CS nominee Mithika Linturi and his counterpart Aisha Jumwa.
Mr. Speaker, in relation to the motion, notice of motion that has been tabled by Honorable Ishungwa, Mr. Speaker, I want to bring to the attention of the House that when you have told them to go and get the report of the committee, the vetting committee that you chair, I want to single out and ask them to pay attention that there is a minority report attached to the main report for discussion in this House that is rejecting the nomination of Honorable Aisha Jumwa and Honorable Linturi, Mr. Speaker. The people being rejected are not only one person. We are rejecting 3 people in total, Mr. Speaker, and I'm just urging them to look into it.
All the MPs will be allowed to vote for the nominees before the list is submitted to the President for formal appointment. Shadrach Kareria, Lookuptv.
Shadrach Kareria with that story. Now, President William Ruto has launched the affordable housing program in Soweto, Kibra, Langata constituency, where at least 4,500 houses will be constructed, with the president insisting that his administration will prioritize the reduction of the cost of living. Ian K. Tani files that report.
It is in Soweto slums in Kibra that President William Ruto launched the affordable housing program, set to benefit thousands of residents in Soweto East Langata constituency. Ruto highlighted that the government will spread the program across the country and the handing over will be done by him halfway into his term as president.
Wakati nilikuja hapa Langata katika uwanja huu, niliwaambia ya kwamba nitarudi hapa kwa mapenzi ya Mungu chini ya siku 100 kuanzisha hii mradi ya ujenzi wa manyumba katika hii Kibera Soweto B. Leo nimekuja hapa kutimiza hiyo ahadi. Na mimi nataka niwahakikishie ndani ya miaka 2.5 nitarudi hapa tena ili niwakabidhi manyumba zenu wale watu mnaishi hapa.
Ruto insisted that his administration is planning to complete at least 200,000 affordable houses in the first year, down from 50,000, assuring residents that they will secure employment opportunities through the construction process.
Tumesema ya kwamba tutaongeza nyumba tutakazojenga kila mwaka ifike 1,200 kwa sababu tayari tuko na upungufu wa manyumba milioni 2 Kenya ya wananchi kuishi. We already have a shortage of 2 million houses, and every we are supposed to cater for another 250,000.
The cost of living also featured in President Ruto's address, with the head of state assuring the country that his administration has measures in place to reduce the cost of living, having availed bags of fertilizers to ensure increased production.
Na mimi niliwaambia ya kwamba lazima tuteremushe bei ya unga ikuje chini. Na hiyo safari ya kupunguza gharama ya unga na gharama ya maisha tayari nimeianzisha. Tayari tumepatia wakulima wetu mbolea magunia 1.5 million na tunawapatia ingine magunia 6 wazalishe chakula, ndio chakula ifike hapa ikiwa bei nafuu.
With millions of youths having benefit from the Kazi Mtaani initiative, Ruto, however, had other plans in mind, declaring the abolishing of the program, while assuring the youth of equal employment opportunities through the construction of different phases in the affordable housing program.
Hiyo kazi ya mtaani, hakuna kazi ya mtaani tena, kazi ni hii ya kujenga manyumba hii. Na nimemwambia huyu mungwana, wale watu wa kwanza ambao wataajiriwa katika kazi hii ni watu wa hapa Lang'ata na watu wa Kibra, ndio watakuwa wa kwanza.
Ian Keitani, Lookuptv.
Now, in our today's feature of Elusive Justice, we highlight Victor Odonda's 4-year-old's journey of pain and anguish in the courts as he pursues the right to bury his dear wife, Jen Adhiambo. The remains of Adhiambo have been lying in the morgue for close to 5 years as Victor and his in-laws fight over who should bury her. Now, the story states on the impasse in court has now pushed Odonda to reach out to his in-laws with a passionate appeal to be allowed to lay to rest his wife. Our reporter, Hombre Tender, sat with Victor, who narrates his ordeal.
Over 16 years ago, a great love grew between Victor Odonda and his now deceased wife, Jen Adhiambo.
Jen tulijuana na yeye the year 1999. Kama si wote bado tulikuwa shule, isipokuwa yeye bado alikuwa primary na mimi nilikuwa mbele yake. Kufika the year 2002, hii harakati tulikuwa marafiki, mambo ya ujauzito ikatokea kama Jen ako form 3.
A love that was so strong that even strong opposition from Jen's family did not deter these two lovebirds. They ended up marrying at a tender age.
Jen mwenyewe alitoka shule na akakuja kwangu. Na wakati alikuja kwangu, singeweza mfukuza juu nilikuwa nampenda. Na nilijaribu kuangalia venye tunaweza suluhisha maneno, lakini ilipata kama mimi mwenyewe sina namna yote, hata yenye naweza fanya nimrudishe shule. Na ikazindikishana hadi sisi wenyewe tuliamua tuanze maisha yetu na tuendelee hapo hapo venye hiyo mambo imetupata.
And that marked the start of years of suffering for this young family. Jen's deteriorating health compounding the misery.
Jen ni mtu mwenye alikuwa anajifungua kwa njia ya operation. Sasa venye alikuwa anajifungua kwa njia ya operation, Jen kila saa alikuwa na maumivu kwa mwili. Lakini hiyo peke yake haikufanya nimkatae, juu nilimpenda hivyo venye alikuwa. Sasa huyu ndio firstborn wangu, alafu sasa huyu ndio secondborn.
As fate will have it, Jen lost her battle to sickness and the simmering differences between Victor and his in-laws, who were vehemently opposed to this marriage, deepened.
Mzee akauliza anataka kujua wale wageni wa kwake ni akina nani, na ananijua vizuri sana. Venye aliambiwa hivyo, akasema hakuna kesi yote inaendelea kwake. Yeye asha make decision na ashaamua anaenda kuzika msichana wake.
The wrangles ending up in court.
Singeweza kuacha watoto wangu na tena mpendwa wangu aende tu hivyo ati anaenda kuzikwa kwao, na mimi sijashughulika. Siku moja watoto wakiwa wakubwa anaweza niuliza ile swali yenye siwezi jibu.
What Victor thought was a better way of solving the existing problems with his in-laws has now turned into years of wait, pain and misery.
Niliishiwa mpaka hata lawyer nilikosa. Lawyer wangu alikuwa anataka pesa mingi. Nimeuza mpaka vitu zangu za nyumba. Nimefanya kenye ningeweza. Juini familia yangu. Familia huwezi nunua na pesa.
Exhausted from this sorry state, Victor has been subjected to persistent mourning as he hopes one day all this will be behind him.
Mzee ni mtu mwenye tunaheshimiana na bado kuna uhusiano watoto wameweka katikati yetu ambapo singeweza kufanya kesi yote na mzee. Mimi ile kitu nilikuwa nataka at least tupate a room somewhere yenye tunaweza kaa chini kama familia to solve hii maneno.
Even as he hangs on hope, this is his cry.
Mzee, hata mahali huko, tafadhali, mi bado nasema tafadhali, kama kuna mahali nilikukosea zaidi, mi nakuomba msamaha. Nakuomba msamaha, unipatie bibi yangu, niende nizike. Watoto wangu warudi.
Henry Tende, Lookuptv.
Henry Tende. The Director of Public Prosecutions has approved charges against 7 people who are accused of abducting 3 children from a widower who committed suicide. Now, the DPP has directed that the 7 individuals be charged with a conspiracy to commit a felony and abduction. The 3 kids, a 5-year-old girl and 7-month-old twins, are said to be forcibly taken by 2 of the suspects, Lali and his wife Hirani, after their father, Mikeshi Harji, was taken to custody for almost a month over the death of his wife.
Raised this question about child trafficking and abduction, where some businessmen, the owner of Mombasa Cement Factory, plus other 5 people, kidnapped a child after the mother died. We launched the complaint to the police. Investigations have been done, and the DPP has approved the arrest of the 7 of them. We demand that the police moves with full speed because there is an approved charge sheet and those people be arraigned in court immediately. We shall be heading to that place right now to know the progress of how the police have succeeded or have failed to arrest those people who have been involved in an international syndicate of taking children from Kenya, taking them out of the country, demanding that the father surrenders those children, and which is very, very bad for children in this country. So we hope justice will be done and the 7 people will be arraigned in court either today or tomorrow.
Msichana iko miaka 5 na kijana ako miezi 5, Billy. Liko pacha.
Twins.
Sijui itafanya nini sasa kurudi namna gani kwangu. Na jukuu yangu nataka arudi kwangu ndio mimi nicheze na yeye.
Would I send these to push to?
Farmers in Nakuru County, who are the major producers of a fresh vegetable, warn against the shortage of vegetable that will be witnessed due to lack of rain. Nairobi and Mombasa residents, who are main dependents on the production of this vegetable, need to brace themselves. A shortage in vegetable is set to be experienced. More than 10,000 families in Naivasha are suffering due to the age of hunger.
The flourishing Nakuru County has changed as the age of famine increases. The rivers have dried up and plants are withering to death. Farmers of Hindu and Maila areas have been the most affected this year following the shortage of rains being witnessed in the country. This season, things have changed for these areas, which are well known for growing vegetable and potatoes. The plants have withered following the extreme water shortage.
Conditions affected sana ni Maimayu na Kongoni. Kule maeneo ambayo ni ya kilimo kabisa kama Moidabi kule mpaka Maela hatukuweza kupata crop. Although hatuwezi kusema kwamba magala ya watu yalikuwa exhausted, ni maana ni season moja tu ambao hatujapata chakula.
The residents of Nairobi and Mombasa, who are highly dependent on the production in these areas, are now warned on the shortage of vegetables that will be experienced soon. Although this area has been self-dependent, the residents are now pleading with the government to intervene as more than 10,000 families have been affected by hunger in this area.
Wanga tunarima, hatujawahi fika wakati tumefika sahi. Sahi tumefika mahali si pazuri hivyo.
Residents of Kilifi County, one of the severely drought-affected counties, sigh in relief after receiving food aid worth 13 million. This aid from the New Life Evangelism has been distributed in areas of Magairini, Malindi and Ganze.
4,000 bales, bundles unga wa sima na 400 bags za maharagwe na 500 boxes za mafuta.
Chakula ni shida, kusema ukweli. Sai ukingangana ukipata mfuko shukuru, lakini sana sana ni ukose.
Assisting in the distribution of food among the residents of Kilifi, Governor Gideon Mungaro assured partnership with various donors to offer relief to these residents who are languishing in hunger. In addition, he promised water distribution in affected areas.
Serikali ya kaunti na wahisani kama Pastor Ezekiel na kanisa yake na wengine wengi ambao watakuja kwamba tutahakikisha hakuna mtu wa Kilifi ataweza kuangamia kwa sababu ya tatizo la njaa.
Mudeundalana, Lookuptv.
That story marks the end of our news this morning, as far as the Morning Drift news desk is concerned. Now, if you've realized, we've been giving you the live updates on the International Handball Federation competition that is going on at the Nyayo Stadium right now. And by the way, Lookuptv is the only one that is giving you exclusive coverage of that event all the way to Friday. Now, I do understand that today we're supposed to log in at exactly 10 a.m. We will be giving you those pictures live here on Lookuptv, 12 noon, and then at 2 p.m. It's actually till Saturday. Wow. Get my facts right. Now, yesterday, the Kenyan teams that played did post a couple of mixed results that I'll give you just a quick recap of exactly how they ended. Now, the junior under-20 side lost 25-28 to Burundi at the Ulinzi complex, while the under-18 side picked a massive 59-11 victory over the Minnows of Djibouti at the Nyayo Stadium. Now, those are some of the results that we got to post yesterday. And if you look at how the games are poised today, then you will know that indeed Somalia also didn't make it to the games this year as well. So those are some of the updates that we'll be giving you as we go by. So you can join us live on our social media platforms and right here at Lookuptv as we give you the live updates on the IHF 20 and 2022. Now, let me log out so we leave the guys already at the grounds to just give us updates on exactly what's going on. After that, I will see you tomorrow again. So today, that's it. There won't be Look at Business just because of that competition. I'll see you next week myself for Look at Business. So a lot that is getting done in the background so that we make sure that once we come back Monday, then all will be good. From the Lookuptv Morning Drift family, we're not leaving you officially because we're still in charge of that competition. For now, it's bye. I'll see you tomorrow again when we get talk about what it is that you guys are talking about in terms of social media and whatever is going on in the country, even as we wait for that debate on the vetting committee report then to take center stage today. Goodbye and good morning.